Hi guys, and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to talk to you about why I do those talks. You know, when I'm walking on the street and I'm talking about philosophy, mostly the Tao, which is D-A-O, Tao, from Taoism, which is sometimes pronounced the Tao or from Taoism. Well, I'm not religious, I don't have a religion. By that, I mean I don't follow what certain people believe in, or their group. I don't follow any of that. It's the same in society in general, all this man-made social construct nonsense. I try to be absolutely to the word, to the essence of the way my lungs are breathing air. I'm literally in reality, not society, not money, not hierarchy, competition, all that stuff. Excuse me, I've got a cough. I'm still recovering from a bit of a cough and cold, sorry. But yeah, but I know, okay, for a fact that flags, designs on flags, were designed by people. They're symbols representing this is my territory. For example, all these different titles that are out there, all these different areas of society and cultures were made up. They're not real, they're made by people. Lots of inventions too, of course. But, excuse me, really excuse me. And when I say excuse me, I don't mean, by all means go and watch another video. I'm grateful if you do stick around and listen. But again, same thing, I don't hold people to listening to me. And listening and observation in any way doesn't mean following or that you have to follow. No, what I'm saying is I personally know that I come from a thing called truth, which is not up here in ideas, real nature. I'm alive, I'm a natural human being, we all are alive, and we are a part of nature, we come from nature. So the best thing you can do is be in tune with nature. And to most people that means nothing. They're like, okay, we eat food, we drink water, we breathe air, and the first two of those things you get from shops, you buy it because you work hard, and only by working hard and earning money from your job, from your boss, can you live. So they believe that life is working for this thing called money, which is not real. Because it's controlled within law that if you don't have money, this thing, and a certain number and a certain price on different things, if you don't have that enough, you're not allowed by force. Thieves get locked up, the higher, whatever it is that they put the price on, whatever laws, you could be imprisoned, your life taken from you. It doesn't matter what kind of laws we're talking in the world. Some people get their hands chopped off in some parts of the world. It's happened. Stoned to death, who knows what, different kinds of laws with different kind of punishments over the years, hung, whatever, harsh punishments is basically human torture, lost in some way, sacrificing of something, basically just basically murder. You might think that's the wrong word, or whatever you want to use. It's killing. Human beings will kill human beings, or take away their ability to live. Normally, they'll put you in a prison cell where you can't do anything. They control you. So what I'm saying is life is controlled by law. People are run by fear. In this fake society. I'm not someone living in a dream world. When I'm talking about there's two sides to everything, like yin and yang, which is in Mandarin, yin and yang, which makes this thing called the Tao. I do speak Mandarin Chinese too, as I say. my second language, but the Tao is the way of nature. So when I'm talking about it, the same way the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu was talking about it, and I think he was one of the wisest men that ever lived on the planet. Definitely I think he was the wisest, really. Other people that I've met, that I've seen that are wise, are just wise within this world. You see, he wasn't, you know what I mean? It's like, you can be wise with your psychology, working your way around and navigating this, whatever the world is to you, whatever. If you're someone of the very pure essence of the universe, you'll realize what's fabricated and what's not. So we're living in this world where you have laws, and people with violence, not with kind words. Don't you dare eat those tomatoes, or don't you dare drink that water. No. Oh, you're so bad now, I don't respect you. It's not like that, no. They will lock you up, handcuff you, and punish you with violence. If you try and escape, they'll do whatever it is. They'll track you down. They've got the dogs chasing after you, groups of them, and they'll haul your ass in. You know what I'm saying? They've got tasers or whatever modern gadgets they can create to stop the functionality of your body. And sometimes things can be deadly, but they'll drag your ass in cuffs. And they'll do it for words in this day and age, sometimes too. So basically, we're living in an unfair, unjust, corrupt system, which they call normal society, social construct, culture, and whatever. It's just how the world is these days. This is the modern world. BS. Bullshit. This is the planet Earth we're living on. The changes through the decades. Technology. There's progress in technology, per se. Some of it's preferable. Things are improving because we see it like that, You know what I mean? Like we used to watch TV, like on black and white TVs. We used to watch movies, and nowadays people want to watch it in full color, HD, massive screens, virtual VR headsets, and all the rest of it. And we said that's a progress, that's an improvement, because we see it to be. It could be like listening to someone play the guitar, or listening to some music digitally on your MP3, whatever player, listening to digital music. You say, it's an improvement. It depends how you feel. But there's other things which are an improvement, like, for example, cars, or, I don't know, machinery that purifies water, I don't know, or, cleans the shit out of it, basically that means. Things which are literally improvements, like electric lighting, or like the communication methods, and like creating even the first telephone. What a change to the world that was when they created the first telephone. So there's inventions, right? We're going a bit off topic, but you know what I'm saying. Society is made up of things that we are doing. The times don't change, the technology changes, but it's the behavior and the ideas. The psychology of a human being. How in tune is it with the body itself? We're human beings living on the planet Earth. Here on the planet Earth, in space, where the sun is giving power. The universe gave power to the sun. It created the sun. You could say God created the sun. Maybe, who knows, right? I'm not a human who's knowledgeable enough to know how God did what he did, why he did what he did, if he exists, how he thinks, and whatever, from the best possible way. I'm only a limited human being. No, you could listen to this. Anyway, mate, you could finally somehow be aware of God's existence. Like an ant might be aware of my existence if it recognises there's a shadow on the ground, I don't know, or something about, you know what I mean? When a bug knows you're there, that senses the vibration, there's an ant on the ground, He doesn't know anything about me and my life, the little small ant, but he's aware of my being. And that one ant might be really in tune with there's something fucking here. Something's going on. He might come up with a name for it if he could speak, and he might call me God, in his ant language. He might call me the giant boogaloo or whatever. I'm not the giant boogaloo. I'm actually Richard, and I'm not actually pink or whatever, pink with yellow spots, and I can fly and I can send lightning out of my arsehole. It's not that, okay. I'm actually just a human being, but I am still this big force, and he's onto the right track. Though he's an ant and I'm just a human being, the same as I'm a human and God might be God, our view of what God might be, the same way the ant might view me a certain way, may be not exactly what it is. But nevertheless, he might be onto something that the other ants aren't onto. So you may be someone who's somehow aware in some way, or believes you are, or who knows about what of our knowledge is true or just perception sometimes, but you may know more about God. Yeah? If there's a God. Or let's say the ultimate force, the ultimate creating factor here. Because you may be well in tune, not well in tune, but you may be aware in something more than other thousands and millions of people that have been studying or in that particular religious group for years, who have been studying whatever knowledge they think they've had from old stories and all kinds of things to form this real understanding of what God's supposed to have been. And you've got the main religious book, then you've got some other side texts as well. We have to put this in here, you got this as well, it's related to that book. Whatever, man. Excuse me. So, but you may know very little, you may know nothing about all that stuff yourself, but you might be more in tune and not even know it. So, my argument is not that God doesn't exist, it's not my point. There's definitely something that started everything, started the whole universe, and I don't mean the Big Bang, I mean before that started this everything. Even if it's eternal and it always has ever been, it has always been outside of time and space. So therefore, you could say God. As I see it, I don't see anything beyond the Tao. The philosophy, it's not a philosophy, the force of the Tao basically is everything. Everything is the Tao. It's yin and yang. There's two sides to everything. Because even in having something, the opposite is not having it. So even there, you have this something, which is everything, the totality, the one universe, there, right? And then nothing. Also, no, there's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a true thing, you could say, because it truly is nothing. Now you say semantics and philosophy, but no, nothing truly is nothing, right? Okay. So that means we only really have what we have, the everything, the totality, the one. When things are broken up, okay, a branch doesn't grow from a tree unless it's growing from the root, from the trunk, right? Fruits don't grow beside the tree. Fruits grow on the branches. The apple don't fall far from the tree. When you see ripples in water, you know that there's something going on in the centre, whether it's a fish that's popped up or you've dropped a stone in or whatever's going on, There's no smoke without fire. Okay, same with precipitation, the rain, and all the science, and the sun, how things grow. The muscles on your body grow on your skeleton, like I said. You know what I mean? The flesh, the layers of flesh, the layers of the onion, the rings inside a tree when you cut it and you see how the things are growing out. Okay, the layers of things. Yes, and all of that. You see, so everything comes from where it comes from. You've got the leaves and obviously the fruits growing on the flowers and all that stuff growing on there, right? Okay, and it just goes on and on. The waves. You just see how things work, how things gradually grow out. You see the beaches. I'm just saying, right? So so the universe was created, or is constantly in some kind of functionality. some kind of movement, some kind of goings on, happenings, right? Flow, movement. It's expanding too, they say, right? So there you are. So at the center, if we're going to call it the center, the original, it doesn't matter if you're a scientist or you think you're an astronomer or whatever. The truth is, something happened, or something has always been happening, you could say. It doesn't make, like the ocean, the water's always flowing. Will that water ever come to pass again within itself, or will it just because it's always flowing around the water, you know, in the sea. So the universe is like that too, right? And the seasons are changing, and some things grow and some things rot, and the elements, you know, Chinese in ancient Chinese like studies and things. You've heard of things like the 5 elements. You may have heard of the 5 elements. There's things like this, and you've got the seasons. I think they used to believe it was 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. There's 4, but you know. Anyway, there's like 5 elements, and then there's like stars. You know, they've studied the stars and all this stuff. There's lots of different things that human beings have studied or can study. But when you look into nature, you see the real truth. See what it is. You don't understand it all. It's like the ant looking up or looking around, and he doesn't really know what God is per se. The ant doesn't know you're a human being and whatever. You know what I mean? But whatever he does know is just in his own ant way. So here's the thing: what created this universe, right? Or let's say what has always been, if you want to say it's eternal, then what has always been the creator of everything? It doesn't matter what you use. You can say God created the Tao, God created, or you say the Tao is God. It's the universe. It doesn't matter. Whatever. When I say universe, I don't even mean the universe we know or the greater universe. I mean absolutely everything. There's no other word. So when Lao Tzu made that word, the Tao, or whoever made the word, right? We're talking about that. There's no word for it. There's no name, really. We're just saying truth in physical, objective truth, okay? Not like these people that say everybody has their own truths, subjective truths, ways of living, and that, you know. Of course we have our own, but if you want to say it's a fact, it's factual, it's the truth, that there are different truths and everybody lives with their own truths. Is that a fact? Or are you lying about that? Well, if you're saying it's the truth that there are subjective truths, then whose truth is the objective truth to say that in the first place? It means that truth is just objective regardless of what you think. If things are a certain way, they are. Even if it means that things are always changing and there's no rigid stuck way because things always adapt. That's also a fact, isn't it? It's a factual meaning. You can't escape truth. There's only truth. You may never see it. You may never know it. You can't catch now. You can't even realize the faults in what you're observing until later. We're always just slow like that, you know. Okay. So that's what the Tao is. That's what it basically is. Okay. So the universe was created, we could say, or the universe is here. Sorry, it might be an eternal creation. It's eternally being created and destroyed, or is flowing and changing. It's just the way of change, the way of no way, the way of no rigid way that can eternally be. Fluid, listening and recharging its own power, the same way as when you exercise or when you sleep. Your body is like a mini universe. It's part of the whole universe. You live from the sun's energy, and the sun lives from the universe's energy. You can say whatever keeps the sun functioning. See, the same thing. The same as what's the food for the sun? You know, to give it power. Do you understand me? It's always in and out. It's always yin and yang. So, the energy. There's energy that you get, you see, from your food. And the energy keeping the sun alive. So whatever's keeping whatever alive is the force of life. When I use the word life just as a term, I mean the force of maintenance. Maintenance means the constant flow. The way you've got cells in your body which are constantly dying and then creating new ones. Your whole body is always life and death. Many cells are dying in your body. And you've got new ones being grown, you know. It's always fresh new beginnings, but a lot of people live off stale old memories and work with limited understanding and predictions of what they think the future is going to be. And so therefore they live in constant stress, and mostly they want to fight others, fight everybody else around them. And the problems go out into the world. So we're doing things bad for the environment, bad for each other, not because I think it's bad, because it's dangerous. I'm saying physically we are wasting. A lot of people are wasting their lives. You know, they're bringing themselves and everybody down, fighting everything for things that don't even exist. Like we said, like money, like money, like image, like face, whatever that means. The image, the face. You know, they say face over here in China. Face. Their life's about face. Facebook, man. It's all about face. Same as online social media. I'm not making this YouTube video for face. I don't care what people think. Look at me, I just woke up, my hair's all messy, I'm sweaty, stinky. I really don't give a fuck. It's like, I'm not, because there's nothing to show. Someone who shows is someone who's hiding the true self. If you show something, you hide something. I'm sitting here with no top on, sweaty, sticky, I've got this fan on me. I've got nothing I can teach people. If I was going to teach everybody and you follow me, that means you've got people that don't think for themselves and you're just following me. It's not like that. It's about... So you can't have talking without listening. Can you hear your words when you speak? You see what I'm saying? And can you speak when you hear your words? See what I'm saying? So it comes from inside. You can put decorations on a real tree to make it a Christmas tree, but it's not part of the tree, really. So you can dress people in whatever clothes, give them whatever titles. You can make roads, make signs, build a big castle, build a big office block and a fancy car, and put a gold watch on you and say, this is the boss and he lives in this place and he's in control. Whatever it is. New sets of rules. I would get rid of the old rules, bring new rules in. You can play this game forever. You're not going to get anywhere. You talk this and talk that and everybody follows and bows down until someone kills somebody else. And then people get locked up. Then the laws change and the psychos are let out of the prison. Then mental illness is not regarded as such, and so they're allowed to do what they want. Then they lock other people up who are speaking things that were once just or normal speech, just for words. You know? People are sometimes so sick and off from their own minds. They're not in their own mind. They're like acting as if they're not human, you know. So there's a harm, a danger to yourself and everybody else if you're not in tune with truth and nature. What does it mean? Not necessarily knowledge or information. No, awareness. It's not what you see, it's how good your vision, your eyesight is. You say, well, isn't your vision what you see? No, it isn't, really. I want to talk about the functionality of your eyes and your ears and your body. Yeah? Sometimes I've walked into a room and my smelling, sometimes I can smell certain smells, but sometimes my nose, whether it's not necessarily blocked up, but sometimes I walk into a place and someone says, oh, can you smell that? And I say, what? I can't smell it. But they can. Now, if that was gas, I might be in trouble. I'm trying to cook in or whatever, you know. You know, so like, the thing is, right, it's different when you say things like listening to a song and you say, it's so meaningful, someone's in tears by the song. And I'm like, wow, that was so boring, I don't like the song, you know. No feeling in it, in the melody, the tune. And that person is probably one of those tone deaf people. They just, I mean, like they can't hear tune deaf, tone deaf, right? But they were listening to the meaning in the song and the words, and then they asked me, well, okay, I'm not as musical as you, okay, but okay, and then they say, so didn't you understand the words? And I'm like, well, yeah, actually, I did understand the words as well, but it doesn't mean anything to me. Somehow those words are related to that person's mind. Now that's psychology. That's human psychology, emotional. Human beings being emotional. That's got nothing to do with reality. Now we're saying that emotion doesn't have anything to do with reality. What I'm saying is, You have to study like your emotions, the way of your mind functionality, how you're thinking. Not so you got the thoughts. Can your mind function without thinking? Okay. But what I'm trying to say is right. Can you be peaceful before you speak? Can you be still before you walk? Right. Are your emotions, or aren't your emotions, thoughts, extreme, crossing over into your physical, bodily feeling and all of that, and whatever effect it might have, effect on your body? Isn't the emotional part of you an extreme, what should I say, result or next step from being confused of your psychological functionality, how you actually, you know what I mean? It's like the psychology, there's a problem there, and then the mind starts to form pictures and things, fears, and so you get emotional. You hold on to certain things, other ones you run from. See? This is like, it's a distraction from just peace within the self. That's why people meditate, or people in a certain way. Understand? Meditation. Not as an act, but being aware of the universe is, energy that runs through your body, as I say. So whatever the creation of the whole universe is, God or whatever, or the Tao, as I say, it doesn't matter. The force, the eternal force power, regardless if it's got a mind or whatever, that created the sun, that's creating the food on the earth, the planets, and then you're eating it, and you've got the right temperature to stay alive. The energy is going in your body, and it's giving you power. You have the energy of the eternal, creation of the universe right in your body now. The origin of all the cosmic, the universal energy. Yeah? The battery that powers the universe. Even if it might even be infinite even. You are connected to like the charger, the phone charger in the plug socket. You are connected to that which gives charge to the whole universe, right from the very beginning to you. And when you see the light from the stars, that's light from the stars that were years and years ago, So the truth is, just the truth is what we're saying. So why do I make these videos when I'm walking down the road and I'm talking about the Tao and all this and yin and yang? It's because, not only because it's a bit interesting, but also because we're living in a world which is so corrupt, where people are bringing each other down constantly, and we're stuck in this rut. I call it a total rut, where it creates all things like division and violence. And they say again, a division causes conflict, but it creates this mindset. See, it's not only that we're divided as people, you're broken up in the mind. You support this, you're against that. And you say, well, we're always going to be like that. But no. You agree with certain things, you don't see where this imbalance is. When you see the truth, the peace of it all, and the balance of it all, you see we're all human beings. You don't even think about outside. You're here in the self as the essence of peace. Not to say you're selfish, but in the essence of peace here, there is no battle per se. You're fair to others, and if they're fair to you, that's how we win. You have to realize. As you anticipate what I'm about to say, thinking about what I'm going to say, what's going to happen next. No, you need that peace. It's not about what's going to happen next necessarily, because you can't always prepare for the future, but you have to be peaceful in the now, in the here, and realize what life is. Life is not about paper documents that you sign. Life is not about any of this, what's the word, superficial, this fake man-made society and all the terms and jargon and language and terminology. None of that. It's not about that. It's not about fighting. It's not about trying to prove yourself to anyone, because it doesn't exist. There's no human being that's better than you. The idea of better and worse, what does that mean? Winning and losing. You'll go beyond that. You'll be more mature. You'll realize there's no such thing. Well, he got the gold medal last time. What about me? In a competition with the rules set in a certain way, when the guy did have longer legs than you. You're a faster runner, but the guy's got longer legs. Is there any fucking point in even running? Come on, man. 2 Olympic athletes do equal the same amount of work, and then one of them's in hospital after the event. Like, what happened, man? What happened? Don't know. We're not doctors, every one of us, but something happened in that person's body. He weren't fucking alright, because there's things you don't see. But in the moment, it was like he had to fucking beat this guy in the race. That's not what it is. All them people in your workplace who are talking all that shit every day, trying to fit in all that work jargon, babble, and then it's the same in politics, and all that. It just goes on and dribble. It's just absolute crap. Fake. Trying to fit in. People believe that they actually earn a living from another human being. Can you believe that shit? Really? Seriously? Can you believe it? You say, well, I better believe it, because that's what the society is that we're living in. So you just give up your whole human mind. What the fuck was the worth in knowing any functionality in your brain almost? That's how things are done here. You respect different cultures and customs, you say. Respect humanity, respect yourself. You don't even know it until you can accept yourself and be true in yourself, rather than being someone you're not. You can't even speak about respecting other people. Oh, is that okay in your country? How do they do it in your country? Like, what the fuck does that mean? All habits, traditional dancing, traditional flags, writing, traditional cooking. It's all made up. It's not real. We're making that up. Oranges grow on the orange trees, man. Fish swim in the water. You do fishing and someone from one country cooks it this way, someone from another country cooks it that way. You're cooking it different ways. And then his family likes it in a small village or whatever. Word goes round. He gets his meal out to more people. They say, hey, can you teach me? Yeah, Uncle Johnny's going to teach me. Or Uncle Diggalugger, whatever his name is. And they teach this cooking, and then it becomes this meal that's known. And it all started because one person made it a certain way. Or maybe a couple of people started to do it. You know? You know what I mean? And they say that this is the traditional food of that country because it's been going for years. Ridiculous, right? People just behave a certain way. We're not living in the 70s or 2026. People just behaving a certain way. We could still be living in the Wild West, having the same kind of buildings, and still blowing each other's heads off back then in America. Wild West, right? I could give a piece of paper to you and somebody else. You could write down a very elaborate piece of text on that paper with a pen, writing. Someone else, a kid, could draw a picture on the other piece of paper. And who knows which one's got more meaning. But they both used it differently. Did you see that? Yes? So by studying the two sides of everything, the Tao, of yin and yang, you can understand what things are and what they're not. What you have and what you don't have. What you can work with. Well, you can always work with everything and nothing. So we can't say what you can't work with. But what it really is when you're looking out, you should be looking in. When you're looking far out, you should see where you stand. It's always near and far, here and there. So you always learn to reflect. It's a mirror of where you are. The further you look out, if things get blurry, that means you're too far away from the mirror. You're close enough to it. If there's enough light, not too much light, or not too dark, enough in the middle, you can see. The same with everything that maintains everything, you know. Can't be too hot, can't be too cold. That's the earth we're living on, and your body. So this is the Tao. So the Tao is everything. From the two sides, it shows you the center of where you're standing. That's why the tree's growing up straight toward the sun. But it doesn't want to grow up so tall, that tree, that it goes through the ozone and then it goes straight up to the sun. No. I mean, even trees around the world, when the earth's pointing towards, and the plants are growing up, the grass is growing up. Damn it. Yeah. Even some grass grows long too. You got flowers, you got trees growing straight up. Now they're growing on slightly different angles because the earth's kind of rounded, right? Not all trees are growing exactly straight, dead center, like to point at the sun. Otherwise, they'd be like that, all pointing up. So they're all straight, but they're going up straight towards the sunlight. So you could do the same thing. Be strong like all the forces in nature. So you could do the same thing, right, as the trees. You could be going towards, always gearing your life maintenance and growth towards keeping your own self, and what it is, yeah, and by like going towards the energies, the power that gives you life, yeah. Even when you're being held down, or like you're not getting any respect from other people around you, or you're not even getting that much money from people, right? It's not the point, okay? You got to be aware. Oh, my neck. Be aware, okay? Excuse me. That you know which direction you're heading. Wherever you're going, you shouldn't be leaving yourself. Yeah? And whatever's inside of you has to be the power of the universe that gives you life, not death. Don't put things into you that make you sick. Yeah? They say a rich person doesn't spend his money. Yeah? You know, all that. You wouldn't waste your energy, your time. You wouldn't waste your food, hopefully. Don't be wasteful. So, I don't debate with anyone. It'd be really nice to have some people and have some good open discussions and talk about life. I'd love to have you back and forth. You know, I think human beings can learn from each other because we're different reflective mirrors, per se, of the universe too, and everything too. But their truths are theirs and mine are mine. But, you know, as in truths not as a belief, but truth as a set of organised atoms, quarks, basically, which are the building blocks of all things. But, you know, we're different arrangements. That's why that guy's hair is ginger and his eyes are green, and my hair's brown, almost going grey and white, and I've got blue eyes. But the point is, okay, we can learn. And the deeper aspect, like the greater universe and all that, is one thing. But how we are treating ourselves and each other in this human society we were living in, there's obvious problems. And it's coming from confusion, and that with those differing ideas which are so different, and then they battle it with each other. That's where it comes from, the battle. So we're dealing in death, we're dealing in harm constantly, and we should not be doing that. We've got to get out of the shit. We all need to clean ourselves up. What's going on? This guy's covered in mud, I'm covered in shit, and we go and join the party. Everybody in this party is so loud you can't even hear the music. They're talking and yelling, you can't, and they're covered in shit and mud, and everything they touch is dirty. It's not a good time. Clean yourself up. Yeah? And come into, you know what I mean, a way of doing things in a right, you know, in a good, clean way. If you cook your dinner with dirty hands, you might get sick. As simple as that, you know. Excuse me. So, okay, we're going to finish the video now, but what I'm trying to say is when I'm talking about this stuff, it's meaningful. It's not just like I'm just being philosophical or ranting on about shit. It may not be apparent through words, but you have to realise, you have to come outside of the box and realise what you're seeing, what you are, with true sensory awareness. When I'm walking down the road, okay, in short, when I'm walking, as I say, when I'm walking down the street and I'm talking to my camera, sometimes you got people that are walking beside me on the road or behind me, and I'm talking to my phone making a video. I don't look at them, I don't yell into their face necessarily the whole time and try and chat with strangers. I might be at a traffic light waiting to cross the street and people are there. I might be walking forward. Sometimes you get a few people trying to mock me or whatever. It's like I'm doing preaching on the go kind of thing, you know. Not preaching like to a specific person. I'm walking, I'm looking at my phone and talking. So, you see preachers, right? Sorry. You see preachers, they go onto trains and buses and you see these people yell it out, and you do see that, the religious groups and stuff, and you see people walking around with a camera behind them filming as the person walks along and preaches out loud, right? You do see that stuff, yes, okay. But what I'm saying is for me, okay, it's like, I don't make it so obvious like that. They think I'm talking on my phone or they think I'm making a video. It doesn't make a difference. I walk down the damn street and I'm speaking fairly loud anyway, because sometimes it can be noisy on the street with the traffic. But I'm just walking and I'm like, it's exercise for the mind. I'm making a video to put the message out there, not to try and control and change people, but let people think about really understanding themselves more and getting in tune with what could possibly they experience, let alone learn from life and the potential, you know. And I do these videos and it's like, excuse me, man. Clear my throat, man. I've run out of tissue, sorry. But yeah. But the thing is, okay, it's like there are people that sometimes can hear little bits of what you're saying, and they can catch it, and they're like, what did he say? And there's certain things I'm happy if I can, even just with a little bit of it, get that out, and you know, get the message out there to let them think. See, my thing is, I don't want someone to just listen and follow me. I don't want someone to whatever, agree or disagree. It doesn't make a difference. The important is you just hear it. It's like when you look at the sunlight, you just see it. It is what it is. I can tell you it's good or bad. It doesn't make a difference. You see it and you see what it is. Look and see what it is. So the most important thing is you don't look at me, you look at yourself. That's the most important thing. Everything you're looking out to is a reflection of yourself. Yeah? When I go to pick up a chicken leg to eat it, my stomach is hungry. It's a feeling, isn't it? So it's like that. So when that person standing at the traffic lights beside me or anyone around me when I'm walking, I don't stop there because I might get people giving me shit. I just walk and talk. If anyone, because they're loud as fuck, a lot of people anyway in their own stuff. You hear arguments on the street and whatever. But I'm walking past them. Someone could regard me as a damn idiot. If I start yelling with a megaphone and things, in some places you get in trouble too. But if I was to do that, it'd be like preaching. It'd come across as an ego. But I walk down the street talking. No one can say fuck all. I'm just talking, making a video. I could be a lunatic. I could be talking to someone else or someone else that does care and listen. I might have a platform. They don't want to be embarrassed to get themselves on camera. So they think as long as I'm not pointing the camera at them and minding my own business, they want to just keep quiet. But they're still nosing, being nosy. They're still trying to hear what's he saying, and or maybe they're walking in the same direction as me. And I think, okay, good. I'll preach without fucking looking to them. Not preach, but you know, I'll speak what I'm saying, think out my thoughts loud, and tell myself it, and put it on video. And if one or two people hear me on the go, or a bit of it, Good. If they're walking the whole stretch of that road, even better. I'll just keep on. So sometimes I repeat myself. Because I think to myself, most people, not that I know that person or know people in general, but certain ones, but it's like, these are the people that make society what it is. A living hell for a lot of people. There's people out there who are going to say, oh, you might think that because you're negative. No, it's not about that. There are people out there that are making life hard for themselves and others. There's people that are walking around on these streets with a fancy suit on because they want to look the part. Fake as fuck. They want to be part of some important thing. My career, this, that. It's all bullshit. There's people that believe in this hierarchy system and money and all this stuff, right? I honestly don't know the answer to how we could have a world without money. Jacques Fresco, a wise man, was trying to work towards things like that with the Venus Project. That's Jacques Fresco. Jacques Fresco. That's Jacques Fresco of the Venus Project. He was a very intelligent guy. He knew Einstein. He was trying to think of a world where there was no money and how he'd work with something like that. And I've had interesting conversations with AI recently about that too. And it comes up with information. But how people would work towards a moneyless society where we could live in peace and all that, I don't know. Because you put two normal people in a prison, or let's say you put two. If there was no laws now in where you lived, if there was no law for 1 week, the whole country would probably be in chaos. You'd have like looting, fires, rioting, people just going around causing chaos for fun, and just killing each other and stealing of greed. It would just be crazy. They've been brainwashed to think that they need more greed. They're lost. And no matter how much they have, they'll never be happy. And no matter what they have, all they have is this destructive way within them. When they're in a room, they always want to talk over each other. There's always one who wants to talk over everybody. They believe the one who's got the most money is also the one who's got the most intelligence and power. They believe they want to follow the person with the biggest stick, so to speak. When they get hold of it, they'll try and hit that person with the same stick. Violence has no mind, and someone with no mind is a violent fucker, right? Then most people know nothing apart from being savage. It's just they're under control by laws. Can you hold on while I get some tissue? Sorry, hold on, get some tissue. So they know nothing but violence. Yeah, most people, they know nothing but violence. I'm sorry about the sorry, I need to go over here. Okay, hold on 1 second. I was saying they know nothing but violence. Most people, everything the only way they know how to function is with violence. You may think I'm wrong there when I say that, but if you look at how people behave, when you're in a room with people, usually you will see one person love to talk more. Maybe they all do. Maybe all of them like to talk. But the thing is, they always want to be like that. They want to be the one with a voice, everybody's listening. But when I'm talking to you now, I'm not really interested in that. But I just don't want to be around people like that, because I have my own peace. I just want to live on the earth like a fish in water. I'm just alive under the sun, And I see this sickness in these people that are absolutely sick, And it really is a sickness, And it's not that I care about what people think or what they believe. That's not important. But when they're attacking people and killing people and making us live like we're all slaves and we should be, trying to earn a living, you lazy bastard. If you're not earning a living from me, you're not allowed to live, this kind of thing. And when they dictate, and when there's corruption in all of these different workplaces you end up working for, there's corruption in the law, there's corruption in politics, there's corruption in wherever, and you've got the rich and poor unevenly placed, what the hell's going on? People showing off because they're so weak. They're all part of that competition, so they're all losers. Anyone who's striving to win, that's what someone is. Competition, for as long as there's competition, everybody taking part is striving to win or do better. Meaning everybody thinks they're a loser or they're not in a winning position enough. So I don't do that. So who's the true winner? Well, you say if I'm alive, I'm the fucking lucky one. But it shouldn't be that way. There shouldn't be people trying to kill you. You see? If a tree gets chopped down, that was not the natural life ending of the tree. It wasn't a natural way for it to finish. It didn't live out its full life. People cut themselves short. Yeah? You know what I mean? It's like Michael Jackson. They said Michael Jackson was he was a young boy, but he was forced by his dad, apparently, to be like an adult. He was forced to dance and sing, and he was like an adult. He was forced. He didn't have much of a childhood, fun, free, playful time. You know, so that child of him has gone. Like he cut his life short. You could have said already. So it's like if you're going far, far beyond yourself, you're leaving this one. You've cut this life that you have short. See, some more is bringing the less. This is yin and yang again. See, yeah. The greater, the lesser. See, so you have to, work with what you have here. It's as simple as that. The problem with people is they're trying to be part of a picture, trying to fit in. The problem with people is they're trying to, in society I'm saying, not humans, but people as in persona, characters. No reference to the games. I'm just saying there's a Persona computer game series. I'm not talking about that. They're cool, But even there, in those games, they still talk about that too. But I'm just saying, like, we're talking about too much and too less. See, what I'm saying is, like, it should be just be, without any intention to be. Just cut out the noise from your life and realize. Make use of whatever you have. Maybe you're working and having to earn money to live. Maybe you're in that situation because of the force and the violence that's put upon you unjustly, wrongly. Yeah, if you can find a way out, find a way, do things, okay. But the thing is like, the main point is you have to live like a human being. If a panda jumped in the water and tried to pretend to be a dolphin, it might even drown. It's a sad thing to think of, right? You know what I'm saying? If a tree stopped growing up, if its roots didn't act how it would be, it would not be a strong tree. It would not have any good outcome. If there's anything wrong with your body, your organs, if they weren't functioning, if my kidneys started acting like a liver, it wouldn't work properly. You are fine as you are. Work as the sun is intending you to work. Right? You might regard that as Jesus telling you the sun. People think what they want to think. Okay, I'm saying the sun shine, but whatever way, the truth sets you free. The truth is your freedom. Don't look for truths. Study what your maintenance is. Yeah? Not this bread and this milk gives me life, this water, these fruits. No. The maintenance. Study what your maintenance is. I go to work, I get money and I buy this from the shop. That's not the truth. That's not reality. The food goes in your body and you're alive. Your body works this way. You go to work, you're really tired, and if your body's tired and in pain, your body's telling you that. Not, oh yeah, but tomorrow's Tuesday. It's 4 o'clock now. 5 o'clock. No matter fucking time. What's on the paper? That's not reality. You might die with that shit. You might die believing that. You try calling up sick, and the manager says, "No, that's not good. We need people." That's not good for the company. What, for a few seconds, measly what? You could be in hospital dying, man. You're calling up from the hospital, so I can't come in today. I'm poorly. Well, that's not good. So I've just lost my legs and I'm lying in intensive care. And I called you. And I'm going to come back next week. What the fuck, man? When you're pushing someone's wheelchair, telling them about all your worries in the world and stuff, like, does it really add up? We had a meeting yesterday. I was giving people training and they're so awkward to deal with. Maybe you should stop giving meetings to people and fucking telling them how to fucking be. It's all wrong, this hierarchy in the world. There should be human respect on all levels, working with our natural abilities, treating each other fairly, not being greedy, being of peace, being of abundance, being of the earth, being of the universe, being of all the nature and the sun's way, the ways of God, if you want to be true about it, the ways of whatever is. That's what the Tao is. Be like the water you drink. Be like the air that you breathe. Did you ever think that? You breathe air, yeah? But it's of abundance, luckily. How about yourself? Be a person of abundance. Don't be a limited person that very little of yourself, maybe none of yourself, goes out into that world every day. Where are you going? Who are you talking to? What are you doing with your energy? Why do you sleep and wake up each day and waste your power? What are you doing it for? What is it? What is it? You're acting as though your life is nothing, like you're a dead person. Like your life, you just leave your life in a box and you just go out there. What can you do for yourself if you're not honest with yourself? So, I'm honest. I got a PhD. I got a master's degree, and I've got enough people backing me up to tell me you fucking mouth. What the hell is that? Like anyone gives a damn shit? You see important people shaking. You see presidents, one from this country, one from that country, shaking each other's hand. Mutual respect. This is the king of Zugala Bugla. Here he is, yes, and he's the second prince of the heir to the throne. And he's coming in there and he's showing you his fancy. This is where the prince stayed. Who gives a fuck about that? Damn it! If there's an earthquake, the building will come crashing down. Our blood clot. And I speak whatever jargon I will too. Make anything. I don't make anything at all. This watch is a Rolex. It was made. Oh, fuck off, man. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah? You can lose your fucking Rolex, but don't lose your fucking, your spine. You know what I'm saying? Spineless bastards. People losing their spine, losing their mind, losing their spine, losing their life, they left it behind. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. You're talking about life like it's not here yet. You're talking about success like it's not in every essence, every atom in your body right now. You're talking about food like you didn't have a meal today. Yeah? You're talking about other people's minds as if your one doesn't even matter. There's a bunch of people out there that don't see the gold. But that's what it is. Yeah? So there's a bunch of people out there that don't see your mind. But that's what it is. Do you need other people's approval? Right, you drive the car, it might not be the best car. You ride the horse, it might not be the fastest horse. But you're going to get from one point to the other point of the land, like they did back in the day or like they do today. Where the fuck are you going? Realise. You have to wake up and just snap out of this bullshit. I'm not just telling you. It is what it is. Society is a man-made construct. They keep changing the goalposts too, but they're trying to keep you almost like your brain's in a prison, in a cell, jail. Totally unaware, distracted. They want you to just follow that program. To stay on track. Don't go venturing off anywhere else. You might find something, and they don't want that. They want to keep you like a prisoner into that. so that your whole life existence means nothing. You might not understand what I'm saying in this, but you have to find the truth, find pure nature, and that is the only way to freedom and life.